Hey everybody, Billy from Billy's Bike Adventures. Thanks for tuning in today and watching the video. Now today I'm going to be talking to you and doing a review of this. This is the Aero Commander Progress in blue, red, matte finish. If this is of interest to you, my thoughts on this helmet, what I like and dislike about it, how it compares to the Arais that I've had before, keep watching and let's get into it. Don't forget to click the red subscribe button, the bell notification, and then all to make sure you don't miss out on any updates. So let's talk a little bit about what comes in the box first of all, okay? You've got a pin lock clear anti-fog insert. You get the nice little helmet baggie that comes with it. And also you get this box inside the main box. Now in here you will get the what I would call a chin curtain or a chin guard from the wind. They actually call it a wind block from Aero, and that's just an insert that goes under the bottom of your chin on the helmet and on the underside of the helmet, and that's a wind block. Now also in here as well you have the peak tab, so when you remove the peak to have a naked helmet, where the peak screws were, you've got some inserts for where those were, and that's to cover up the gaps on the screws for the peak. You also get some action camera mounts as well, and I'll show you on the helmet where they fit. So on the top here, right up here, this comes out and you can actually put in a action camera mount, so it actually sits on top of your helmet. Now I actually don't like the cameras on top of the helmets. Actually, I don't particularly like the view. I prefer side mounted or on the front, but it comes action camera ready with the insert that's removable here, and with the little mountable, the mounts that they supply with the helmet. So actually quite a nice little thing. So that's what's inside the box. Now let's get on to talking about the helmet itself. So this is a full carbon 3K high performance composite helmet, essentially meaning that it's really, really light compared to the helmets that I've had previously before. Now, this is an XL version of the Aero Commander, and the XL version is 1430 grams, plus or minus 50 grams, depending if you have the XXL or you go with the large. This is the XL and it weighs 1430. The size down, so you get two shell sizes. The sizes down from that is the extra small, the small and the medium, and that comes in at a weight of 1370 grams, plus or minus depending whether you go with the upper or the lower end of that particular shell. So those are the weights for the helmet. And I have to say, wearing this on the motorway yesterday, felt really, really light on the head. The wind buffering, even though I did get some wind buffering, it didn't catch the helmet too badly, and there was not a lot of movement within the helmet. So I actually felt really comfortable, much better than the Arais that I've had before. So I've got the Tour X4s, two of those Tour X4s helmets, and I have to say, on the motorway, this probably was the better helmet. And let's talk about some of the reasons why for me that was. So let's get on to some of the features of the helmet. Let's talk about the peak first. Now, obviously removable to make it more of a naked helmet, but the slots on this helmet, so you've got a couple here and it comes through the top here as well. Now, when you compare that to the Arais, which only has two slots underneath the lid here, pretty solid helmet. If I just get that for you and show you the Arais. So the Arais here only has a couple of air vents underneath here. The rest of the helmet is solid, apart from it is going through the between the helmet and the peak as well. Now, what I actually notice with the Aero compared to the Arais is that when I get wind buffering, the peak on this helmet does not catch it as much as what it does on the Arais. The Arais just makes the helmet tilt either way slightly or backwards. With the Aero, didn't do that at all. Felt really, really solid at the peak on this particular helmet. So I was really pleased with the performance of that helmet on the motorway yesterday. And I actually prefer the peak on this helmet compared to the Arais, just purely for that reason, that when I was riding at speed, I didn't get the pullback, or if I was turning my head to the side, I wouldn't get a slight jolt to the side with the peak catching the wind. So the aerodynamics of this peak, much better for me as a rider compared to the Arais Tour X4. So that's the peak. Another really, really good feature of this particular helmet for me is the extra wide visor. Now when I'm doing my safety checks, when I'm turning to make sure that before I move into the next lane to the side of me, or the inside lane on the motorway particularly, when I turn to do my safety check, the vision that I get out of this visor is amazing. It really is an extra wide view that you get with this particular helmet, and I really, really like it. It actually took me by surprise how much I could see when I turned my head to the side. Now, and for that reason, this beats the Torx X4 again for me, because you don't get as wider peripheral vision with the Torx X4 compared to the Aero Commander. Really, really good, really, really important, and for me, is probably the most important thing actually over the Torx X4. The extra vision that I got from this helmet is fantastic. You actually feel it when you're looking straight ahead as well. Your peripheral vision is also, it's surprising how much difference it makes compared to the Torx X4. So I prefer the visor and the view I get out of this helmet compared to the Torx X4. Now, I've not had other helmets before. I've not had a Shoei or a Bell or anything else like that, right? So I can only compare this to the Arai Torx X4. And I do prefer this helmet. So winning factors for me so far, the peak and also the vision out of the extra wide visor. Two really good features of this helmet that I really like above the Torx X4. This helmet actually has the pop-down visor as well, so just on the side here you've got the lever, and now you just push that up to have them come down, and then push it down to have them go back up. Now it actually comes down with a bit of a clatter actually, so it's a bit stiff, and when it does come down, it comes down with a bit of a clatter. Now if you've got a big nose like I have, sometimes it'll just catch the tip of your nose. It's not painful, but you just know that it's come down. So is it a big deal? No, it's not really. How does it perform? How does the Sunpart visor perform compared to a tinted visor? I'm a bit hit and miss on this. They do the job that they need to do, and that is they are blocking out the sun, they're UV resistant, and they do a good job at making sure that they shade down the daylight when you've got the sun coming in. So it does a really good job, just as good a job as that of a tinted visor. Would I prefer these over a tinted visor? I suppose the main concern for me is that what is Aero giving up in terms of safety and comfort to have these inserted into the lid versus not having them? That would be my only question in terms of what they've inserted this, so what are they giving up in place of that? That would be my only question, and I think I would also prefer just to have a tinted visor rather than these drop-down shades or the drop-down visor. I just think it looks nicer. It's a complete look rather than a partial look. You've got this gap here at the front where you can still see the skin of the face. I mean, it's a small thing, right? But it's a thing for me that is enough for me to think I would prefer a darker visor. So I probably won't be using these too much, and I will probably replace the clear visor with a tinted visor, and I think it'll make this helmet, it'll give this helmet a much more all-rounded awesome look. I mean, it's a bloody great looking helmet as it is. I particularly like the back of it, the fins on the back of this helmet here, here and here. Really, really nice looking helmet, and I think a tinted visor will just make it look the DBs, to be honest. So other features of this helmet, you've got an air vent at the front, and you've got two different settings, 1, 2, so works really, really well, enough in there on the half setting to get enough air coming through into the helmet to keep it mist free, and you've also got vents at the front here as well. Just in the front of the top of the chin guards here, you've got vents that allow the air to come through. That's particularly good when you've got the visor just off the last lock-in mechanism. So you can have it there or there, and that just lets some air through before you pin it down and lock it. You've also got vents just up here, up the top. Now this vent, you might have seen a different review of this helmet, but it is lockable. A previous review said that, not on this channel, but a different channel, said it wasn't lockable. It actually is. So it's just got a slider across the top here, easy to open and close, and then of course you've got the vents at the back here, and will do a good job. I got enough airflow yesterday to make it feel pretty darn comfortable in this particular helmet. Other features of this helmet that I really like. So let's talk about what it's like when you insert comms. So just on the inside, I might have to take this out actually, but just on the inside, you've got it is comms ready, as it were. So let me just take this out and show you what I'm talking about. So just on the inside here, you've got these pieces here that come out, and that's where your earpieces go for your comms. So just take that out. It's only a shallow cutout, but it's enough in there to have the very flat the very flat speakers that we get with the comms. So that comes out, and that's where the speakers go. You also have on this side as well of the helmet, you also have this piece that comes out here, and inside there you can actually put the cables from the comms unit that you mount here. Now with a couple of the comms units, I'm not sure of a Sena, but the Cardo, I know you can't get the cables through here with the ends, so not that good actually. The designers should have really thought about the types of different comms units that are available to make sure that this is a worthwhile addition to the helmet. So if you've got a Cardo, probably not going to get the cables through here. Couldn't talk about a Sena, but I know a Cardo won't go through there. So there's that little feature. The idea is nice, but could have been thought of just a little bit more. So the other features of this helmet is that all the insides are removable and they're washable. So all the inserts are removable and washable, and they're hypoallergenic as well. So absorbs the sweat and very airy, and takes the sweat away from your body or your head when it's in there, as well as if there is sweat, the ventilation probably does a good job. So that is the helmet for me. That's this helmet. I love this particular color. Really sets, really stands out. It's really, really nice, particularly like the back of this helmet. Nice design, nice color. So overall for me, the two winning factors for me: the peak, I don't get the jolting, it's really nice, solid. Compared to the Arai. The Arai does move slightly, so depending if I've got my head turned, you actually see the peak turn or bend just as you're looking either direction. This one doesn't. Really, really solid. The extra visibility on the extra wide screen is another key factor for me. So overall, feels really comfortable on my head, really light on my head. I haven't done an all-day ride on it yet, so don't take my word that this would be comfortable on an all-day ride yet, because I haven't done it. Initial thoughts are, though, that I wouldn't have too much of an issue. The other thing I just want to talk about is the noise level. Now, I wear custom earplugs anyway, and so I have to say that I don't feel that this is any noisier or quieter than the Arai Tor X4, and I've only got those to compare it to. I'm no better off or no worse than those compared to the noise. So I'm really happy with it, and I wouldn't choose this over the other just because the noise, they're exactly the same. What I would choose this helmet over is the peak and the extra visibility. The safety aspect for me on the extra visibility, absolutely fantastic, really, really impressive. Now, I got this at a snip at £216. The following day, when I posted a picture of this on my channel about it, somebody asked me where I got it from, and I sent them a link that had jumped up to £217. So you might not be able to pick this up for $216 like I did, but I got it off eBay. So if you have a good look on eBay, hopefully you should be able to pick up something like this for a really, really decent price. But that was $216 plus delivery, so it ended up being about $235, $240 altogether from Italy. So there we have it. This is the Aero Commander Progress in blue, red, matte color. Beautiful looking helmet, really like it. And for me, it's going to be a helmet that I'm going to be wearing as my preferred helmet now compared to the Arai Tor X4. So if you've got any questions or comments about this helmet or about this video today, do let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you also like the video as well. And leave me any comments down below in the description as well. Thank you very much for watching. And if you've got any questions, do let me know and I will get back to you very soon. But for now, thank you for watching, and I will catch you again very soon.